Arachnids are some of the most widely feared creatures on the planet, from spiders with their venomous bites and sticky webs, to scorpions with their painful sting and sharp pinchers. Arachnids have evolved a variety of strange defense and hunting tactics that has given them some of the strangest and most unsettling appearances of any animals in the world. But what if I told you there's an arachnid so strange in appearance, it's hard to imagine it really exists? I'm Mikey Green, and my goal is to show just how little we really know about the strange creatures living their hidden lives all around us. Today, we're exploring the coastal hammock habitats of the Florida Keys in search for the elusive Tailless Whipscorpion. With long, spindly legs and pinchers covered in long, sharp spines, it's hard to imagine this alien-looking creature as anything but dangerous. But are they really as aggressive as their strange appearance makes them out to be? Let's head out into this habitat and find out for ourselves. The best way to find what we're out here looking for is by flipping over limestone rocks to see what is underneath. But these Tailless Whipscorpions are far from the only interesting arachnid living underneath these rocks. Alright, well this is a really cool arachnid. This is not what we're out here in this tropical hardwood hammock flipping limestone rocks out here looking for. This is a kind of really cool prowling spider called Tailless insularis. This species' venom is not harmful to humans at all, yet still something I just don't want to get bitten by because they are venomous like pretty much all spiders are. These things are called prowling spiders because they're very fast moving. It's not looking like it on my hand right now, but this was a very hard spider to catch because they are super quick. They are also quite light sensitive, which is why I'm staying in the shade right now while handling it. It likes to keep staying near the shadows. And as you can see now that I'm nice and calm, this prowling spider is just sitting nice and still in my hand. So let's put this beautiful prowling spider right back where we found it and keep looking for Tailless Whipscorpions in this beautiful Florida Keys ecosystem. That prowling spider was really interesting to find, but it is far from what we're out here looking for. Rock after rock that we flipped, it seemed that we just simply weren't in the right kind of habitat. There was so much life under every bit of cover we flipped, like this awesome reef gecko, which is Florida's only native gecko species, but no signs at all of Tailless Whipscorpions in this very dark, moist, wooded part of the hammock habitat. Finally though, after a lot of walking through this dark wooded area, the habitat opened up, and right there, I knew we had a chance at one of these Tailless Whipscorpions. Alright. Finally, right here, we've reached a kind of habitat where I could imagine we might be able to find a Tailless Whipscorpion. There's a lot more dry cover down here, and there's a ton of limestone. There's a whole bunch of limestone clusters on the ground. Perfect for flipping for these Tailless Whipscorpions, so let's give it a shot. Oh, there's one. No. Ah! Oh, man. Those things are quick. There's a Tailless Whipscorpion right under there. It scurried off somewhere and I completely lost it. They can be extremely fast, which is gonna make it really hard to capture one if we find one again. Thankfully, this means we're in the right area, which means we should be able to find another one, but it's gonna be tough. This is exactly how looking for wildlife goes oftentimes. I have been looking for an amblypygid ever since I first learned of their existence in the state of Florida, and have been met with nothing but failure. After what felt like hours in the sweaty, scorching heat of the Florida Keys, flipping heavy limestone rocks, I was starting to feel fatigued and almost ready to call it a day, when finally, away from the camera, I had the surprise flip of a lifetime. Check this out! This right here is a Florida Tailless Whipscorpion. I have been looking for a Tailless Whipscorpion ever since I discovered that these live in Florida. And it is just insane looking at this just alien looking creature. This does not look like anything that should be found close to where I live at home. This looks like something you'd find in like the rainforests of Central America, South America, the Caribbean. But these live in these hardwood hammock habitats here in South Florida, and it's just insane to finally be looking at one of these. So let's get this close up to the camera and learn all about the amazing Florida Tailless Whipscorpion. So check this out right here. This is my lifer, Florida Tailless Whipscorpion, Phrynis margina maculatus. That name comes from the white spots that line the margins of that prosoma, or the first segment, the head-like segment that you see. That is a distinctive trait of this species. Now, more generally, these are known as amblypygids, or Tailless Whipscorpions. Now that name might scare you. That might make this sound like a venomous an aggressive creature like a scorpion. But I guarantee you, this thing is completely harmless and entirely non-venomous. These happen to be called Tailless Whipscorpions because of their slight appearance to scorpions. They are arachnids, just like scorpions, but actually, these are closer related to spiders than they are to scorpions. And you can actually kind of see that in the way that the legs look, and also in the fact that these don't have a stinger. But unlike spiders, these don't have a venomous bite. Their chelicerae, which are those mouth parts at the front of their face, lack venom glands and basically only do mechanical damage to their prey. And even though these are non-venomous, they are still carnivores, and they will take down invertebrates that they find underneath the rocks that they live under. I've seen a lot of earwigs, a lot of centipedes, a couple worms, isopods, springtails, small ants, stuff like that. This is all stuff that these Tailless Whipscorpions would be taking down in these environments. This, I believe, is actually a full-grown Phrynis marginimaculatus. This species is on the smaller side for a Tailless Whipscorpion, though quite a sizable one. It was actually a bit larger than I was expecting them to be looking at it from pictures, but there are some species of Tailless Whipscorpions that live down in the rainforests of Central and South America that get more than twice this size. Even still, this has all of the main characteristics that even the really tropical, huge Tailless Whipscorpions share. Those front two legs are modified, called antennae-form legs. And as you can see how it's walking on me right now, it waves them around in front and to the sides, and that is how they feel the environment around them. They are very sensitive. If I touch it just slightly, it'll move very frantically, so I'm going to be careful not to touch those as much as I can to keep this nice and calm on my hand. Also, they only walk on their back 6 legs because their antennae-form legs are so hyper-modified and so thin that they are basically incapable of walking. They are only used for antennae. They are that hyper-modified. You might see those scary-looking claws in the front of the prosoma. Those, while they are sharp and spiky, can do like no damage to a human, and they are very reluctant to use those for defense. Those are entirely for catching their prey. Those claws are modified pedipalps, which are a kind of mouth part that most other arachnids use to guide food into their mouths. So if you see on spiders, those kind of leg-like appendages outside of their chelicerae or the fangs are what they use to guide food into their mouth. These, instead of using it to guide food into their mouth, use it to catch their prey and pin it down. And then they use those chelicerae or those fangs, which in these are non-venomous, to chew on their prey. This eating process can be quite slow because their mouth is so small. If this is taking something down like a cricket or a beetle, it's number one going to take a long time for it to tear through that exoskeleton using those pedipalps, those spiky pedipalps. And it's also going to take a long time for one by one, slowly, for them to lap up the mostly liquid insides of their prey with those chelicerae. Now these things mostly only use the sense of touch to sense the environment around them and search for food. I can tell this because of just how absolutely tiny their eyes are. These don't have great vision as they pretty much only live underneath limestone rocks in these tropical hardwood hammock environments. And as I said, rely pretty much entirely on those antennae-form legs to sense the world around them. And despite how slowly it is walking on my hand, these things are lightning fast. Once it's calmed down, you can see it's nice and slow. But I was worried this one was going to dart off. In fact, just before I found this one, there was another one that was a little smaller that I completely lost in a split second. And that fast speed is super important in these being able to catch their prey items, because the second this Tailless Whipscorpion feels an insect right in front of it with those antennae-form legs, it is going to lunge forward right at it. And you'll be surprised just how quickly those claw-like pedipalps can close shut. And it's covered in these long spikes that once an insect is trapped in there, it's caught in a web of spikes all around it. A trap, kind of like a Venus flytrap, how it works. These are just such amazing predators, and the fact that they even live in Florida is just incomprehensible to me. I've always thought of these as just an animal that you'd find out down in the tropics, but seeing one here is absolutely incredible. Just looking at this absolutely alien looking creature. This does not look like something that should exist on this planet. It's insane. All right, I feel like we've had enough time with this absolutely gorgeous Tailless Whipscorpion right here. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about this incredible species with me. And if you guys want to learn about another really cool arachnid that you might not have known can be found in the United States, then make sure to check out this video right here, where we learn about the micro Whipscorpion. But let's release this little guy right back where we found it.